Or? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll get the Board of Public Works meeting for December 22nd, 2016 to order. First, we have the reading and approving of the minutes. Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading and correcting the journal?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the payment of the claims. So, one of the reasons why the December meeting, the 2nd December Board of Works meeting gets moved to 22nd, so we can try to catch as much stuff before the end of the year and get it paid, so that people aren't waiting too long to get their payments. So that's why we have a little bit later this year, and that's why it's almost a little over half million.
It's a little over $500,000.
Yeah.
546.
Yeah. And the approval of the central dispatches, new equipment. There's a $211,000 in there for that. So that was a big part of that. That's a little less than half of it, but the rest is pretty run-of-the-mill. If it wasn't for that one-time payment for the new central dispatch for the sheriff's department, then it would pretty much be, I think, on normal on par one. So, is there any other questions, comments about the payments this month?
Anything else that you think we need to be aware of with this?
I do not think so. Let's see, there's 84, there's an 84,000 in there. Did you see that one?
For
So the 84 was for what we've decided to do with the blight program.
oh, okay,
Okay.
gotcha. Oh, was that an additional one that we added there at the
Yeah, so
end?
you're going to have a second one up there.
Yeah.
That is where our 10% matching
Right.
funds, so you might want to talk about that. That's the only thing weird.
Yeah, we're going ahead and we're setting aside this 82,300 is what it looks like, and that's for the city's match for the blight elimination program. We're setting that aside now so that we don't run into a situation where we don't have the money set aside for that as we're chugging right along with that. So that's this additional page.
So to be clear on that, the city was awarded over $800,000 for our blight elimination grant, and so the $84,000 is 10% of that. That was what we had to contribute as a city. So.
Yeah. So that'd be that 10% of it, and it's 82,300 now because originally our grant award was 813,000, but we got one of the houses got moved up into a different bracket that made it available for another 10,000. So that's why it's back up to 823,000. Just the 10%, it's the 82,300. So I think that's
That's it.
about everything on the APVs. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All right. Movement to accept payment of the claims be in order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. City attorney is not with us for our meeting today, so we'll go into old business. We have none. So go into the new business. First thing we have on the new business is the opening of the 2017 Street Department materials bids. We would like to go ahead and open those up for us, Tish, and let us know what we got.
Well, I can certainly open them.
Okay. Maybe Bill can let us know what we got.
I'll be Vanna, you can be
I'm sure they know
Patsy,
what they're
okay?
bidding on.
Okay, here we go. Here's the first. The first one is from Gaunt & Sons.
Certainly.
Maybe we can have bids.
It's just formalities there, isn't it?
There's something.
Yeah. You want to read them?
I can.
If they have any questions, then give to them.
Okay, so I'm just reading business.
Yep.
Remember, there's no such thing as a bad student, only bad teachers, though. So,
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the first one from Gaunt & Son, it is for 20,000 or less gallons of tack coat per 2015 NDOT specifications for $3.25 per gallon. Item number 2 is 10,000 or less tons of hot mix asphalt per 2015 NDOT specifications, applied on city streets, alleys, and patching. Let's see, the HMA base 25.0 millimeter.
Type A.
Type A is 5480 per ton. The intermediate type A is 5480 per ton. And the surface 9.5 millimeter type A is 5775 per ton. Milled butt joints, $100 each.
Can you just go through those, just the prices one more time?
Sure,
So we can
yeah.
just kind of get an
Tack
idea?
coat, $3.25 per gallon.
Base material.
This right here.
Yep.
Base material,
HMA base
okay. $54.80 per ton,
and HMA intermediate,
$54.80 per ton.
and then your HMA surface.
It's $57.75 per ton.
$57.75.
And then milled butt joints, $100 each. Is there anything else in there?
No.
And then, do we talk about the fact that there's an escalator?
Yeah, he did bid the escalator clause.
Okay. So it looks like they have bid the escalator clause here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna let Mr. McQueen talk about that.
It's basically, right now, we're taking the bids. It's going to be probably April of next year. If the oil prices go down for them to mix the material, they can pass on the price reduction to us. But there's also a possibility that the oil price may go up. If so, we pay it. It's a gamble we take. 90% of the time, we come out a lot better bidding the escalator clause.
And don't gas prices in the summer go up?
We'll get into the gas prices here in a little bit, but normally we'll bid them on a firm bid.
Okay, gotcha.
Always in the past, we've come out real good on that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot easier to budget really if you're firm bid on the fuel.
Gotcha, okay.
Yep.
And that was Gaunt and Son?
That was Donaldson. The next one I'm opening is A&B Paving.
E, B? No, E, letter E,
Here?
no letter B.
Okay. Okay,
That's all.
for E&B Paving, we have the 200,000 gallons or less of the tack coat at $3.50 per gallon. 10,000 tons or less of the hot asphalt concrete. The HMA base, $58.25 per ton. The HMA intermediate, $59 per ton. And the HMA surface, $62.40 per ton.
Is there a butt joint?
They're also going with the escalator clause, right?
Yep, they have an escalator clause. I do not have the butt joint.
Okay.
That's all this one has.
Okay.
Right? How am I doing, Teach?
Fine.
Good. All right, next would be Irving, because this is the only one for gas.
Well, do you want to vote on each one individually, or?
So those are the only two for
That's
those?
the only two asphalt, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, we'll just take that chunk first then. So it looks like Gaunt and Son is 25 cents cheaper on the gallon for the tack, a little less than $4 cheaper on the base, about a little less than $4 cheaper on the HMA, maybe less than $5 cheaper than on the surface, and we didn't see what the butt joint. Is anyone from E&B here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is the butt joint just included in the prices then? Or like, is there not a per butt joint price?
Would I be able to report back to you in a few moments?
Sure.
Okay.
If the butt joint isn't charged for,
It's actually part of the paving.
Okay.
We grind a groove for one road intersects to the other, so you got a smooth transition instead of a hump. That's what your butt joint grinding is.
gotcha,
So actually, whoever's laying your asphalt is going to actually do the butt joints also.
gotcha. I didn't know if maybe if E&B the butt joint cost was just accounted for in their other prices, and
It's
gotten
probably
some-
not. No,
Gotcha.
normally they'll contract out, on the butt joints,
Right,
because actually Galton Son doesn't have a grinder.
gotcha.
That's kind of why they charge us the additional $100 per joint, because they subcontract.
Gotcha. I didn't know if maybe if that is included in the price with EMB, then that would mitigate some of the differences there, but it sounds like the differences per gallon and everything
Yep.
is significant enough to where $100 per butt joint probably wouldn't make up for the
No.
difference, if that is the case. I
And
don't know
every
how many
time we
butt
actually do the
joints.
butt joint, is we're overlaying both streets at intersects,
Mm-hmm.
so.
You have a number of like how many?
No, not yet. We really don't even know what kind of money we're dealing with for next year, so.
On average, about like the length of a run. So like if
There's actually no average.
like I didn't know if given how long they were, if butt joints end up being in the
The
thousands
width?
of dollars. No, like if there's enough butt joints over the summer to excuse me, add up to like thousands of dollars,
No.
or if butt joints over the summer
You're talking
is just
200 or 300,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
at 100 each.
Yeah, it's 200 or 300 per season possible.
Oh, okay, 200 or 300.
Yeah.
Gotcha, butt joints. Okay.
Well, $200 or $300, yeah. We really don't do a lot of it.
Okay. So I get you. So
Yeah, it's not
butt
done
joints are
on
kind of
every street.
an odd thing that you don't do
Right,
often.
right.
Okay, gotcha.
We didn't see butt joints, excuse me, we didn't see butt joints as an item in the bid or in the documents as
Gotcha.
in each item. That
Yeah.
is absolutely something we'd be willing to evaluate, knowing how many there are, what
Gotcha.
that each cost would be.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, and with the conversation with the street supervisor, said that it's rare that they do butt joints, so it's not, I don't think it's really a,
The only time we
It's a
actually do them
factor.
is if we're doing an overlay and we intersect two streets. It's just a minor 1 inch down, bevel to nothing, so we make a smooth transition.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing major. There's times we don't even do one per season, so,
okay. So I'd say overall then, that not really being a factor, Gotten Some was lower on each item.
Is this the exact same product?
yes, yes. Yeah, it's all virgin material. There's no recycled material involved. Yeah, we send a sheet out to all the bidders to specify that.
Okay.
Is there any other questions from the board?
Nope, pretty straightforward.
Is there any questions from the public? Okay. Well, seeing no further comments, do I have a motion to accept one of the bids?
Motion to accept Gotten Some bid for asphalt 2017.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so it looks like we'll passes for Gotten Son to be the accepted bid. What do we have next?
I don't know. Let's see. All right. This looks like for gravel.
Gravel?
These are the exact same.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have item number 5, 1,000 cubic yards or less of pit run gravel. Let's see, where are the prices that they're quoting on here?
Who is this first one?
I'm sorry.
Irving.
This is Irving Materials.
That'll be the last sheet.
The last sheet.
Not guessing. No.
No? Did they only bid on wash sand here? Is that what I'm
But
seeing?
normally they do
Well, we have
sand,
two,
gravel.
so. I think that's what it is. Okay,
And this is for, did you say sand?
yeah, it looks like this one is
This,
only,
this one is for the gravel, I think, yeah.
is only for the sand, right?
Here it is. Yeah, this one is just for the 23, 24 wash sand for winter use and sealed streets.
Okay.
Okay.
And it looks like it's $10.25 per ton. This one's Irving also. Here we
There
go.
you Yeah.
And this
Just
one
the
looks
rest
like
of
for
it.
all of the stone. So we have number 1, commercial stone at $8 per ton. Number 2, 5373 commercial stone at $7.25 per ton. Number 4, commercial stone, $10.25 per ton. Number 5, commercial stone, $10.50 per ton. Number 8, commercial stone, $10.50 per ton. Number 9, commercial stone, $10.75 per ton. Number 10F, commercial, $9.25 per ton. Number 11, $11 per ton. Number 12, $10.25 per ton. Wrap, commercial, $10.75 per ton, and chips, $6 per ton.
And what's that?
Was that 6 chips was how much?
$6 per ton.
$6.
But
Okay,
then
so
at
we,
the bottom, it also says include a 25-cent per ton environmental fee. You see that?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
that's normal.
okay. And
I think that's the
I
only
think
bid
that's
for
the
that.
only bid on that,
Yep.
yeah. Making your decision easy tonight.
Well, we really need to discuss this.
but, I guess looking through,
How does
I-
that compare to last year, Bill?
They're within range.
Yeah.
It's nothing outrageous, it's,
I gotta say, I don't know what the tonnage is typically for most of it. I know sand, and that seems pretty close to it. What do you think?
That's about normal. 53,
Yeah,
all the other
yeah.
stuff is about the same price.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
I was gonna
I don't
say,
think they're
Yeah,
giving us a deal.
they're,
it's just
they're
pretty
within
much
an average
standard
price range.
gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. And so is this, the materials, is that all, like, what's the, this is just for the tonnage for the material, who does
Yeah,
the trucking?
That's for us going to get it at their plant.
Okay, so you, the street department trucks all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know if these are just their standard prices, or is that a discounted rate?
I think we actually, municipal gets a discounted rate. Somebody here to explain that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, normally they'll give us a municipal discount rate. Yeah.
And you from Irving?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was your name? Mike. Do you happen to know what kind of, how these rates compare to the regular commercial rates that you guys do?
Well, if you take like you're asking what is our board rate,
Yeah, like what's the
Just
normal
for
rate?
example, on the 53 and 73,
which you're at 53.73, you're looking at $11.30.
And what was the price that we had? I guess I didn't get that one.
Price that was quoted here.
7.25.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
that's,
Is there any questions
Nope.
for Mike from the board? Is there any questions from the public? Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the quote from Irving Materials. Just, I don't know how else to put it other than the materials quote from Irving Materials.
For gravel?
Well, it's for sand.
sand.
for all-
Sand and gravel?
Well, yeah, and then stone too, because like a lot of this stone, like the wrap stuff's bigger, so it's not just gravel and sand. It's a list of materials that they would use.
bituminous material.
What's that?
Bituminous material. That'll cover it all.
But
That
Bituminous
word,
material.
I second.
could you slow that down one more time?
Bituminous material.
Bituminous material. Okay.
Yeah,
That'll cover it all.
we have to put that
Okay.
in now.
Yeah, but now we have to put it in the
And
minutes
I'm the one
too.
originally from Kentucky, and I can't understand you.
Boy.
All right. So do I have a motion to accept Irving Materials
Hillbillies there.
quote for
Bid
Bid,
for
thank you.
bituminous
There you
Bituminous
go.
materials.
You got it.
materials for 2017?
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who
All right.
did that? And
She made the motion, I
Okay.
seconded it. So,
see who seconded it. Weird.
All right. And
Only got one bid on that, too.
The next thing we have is for North Central Co-op, and it looks like bids for our fuel.
do you know how many bids we got for fuel?
One.
One? Okay.
And then, so it's gonna be this one.
It's
Oh,
a
this is
firm
the same
bid.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says it's a firm bid at Country Mark 91 Plus. The unit price is $2.59 per gallon for $40,000, or 40,000 gallons, for a total price of $103,920, $103,920. And then this one up here
This is gonna be our
different, so-
off-road fuel, which they deliver to our work site. They furnish the overground tanks. So
This is
there'll
include
be a-
delivery and everything?
Yeah, this will be off-road delivered.
Okay.
This one here will be.
So is this
So
for,
it's a firm bid of $2.0598
$2.98
per gallon.
But then what is this one up here? This one's different, it's $2.43.
It's not a firm.
Oh, that one's not firm?
Yep.
I gotcha. So we have a bid for $2.43 a gallon, but it's not firm. And then $2.59 for a firm bid.
and is this
Then-
gasoline or?
Yeah, well, it's actually gasoline. This one will be. They should have one there for diesel also.
Okay.
And then on the next page, item number 11 is for the 87E10 Plus. It is being bid at $1.81 per gallon. And then the firm price on the item number 11 is $2.15 per gallon.
15 cents.
15, sorry.
And the 87 E10 Plus, is that,
That'd be unleaded,
it's unleaded?
delivered to our facility. Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have Country Mart Premium Diesel for on-the-road fuel at $1.97 per gallon. Right here, on the next page.
You're not done with this yet.
No, I just finished here, so now I'm up to here, and then go down, right?
Did you go to the on-road fuel?
Right here. I haven't done this yet.
This is off-road fuel delivered tank wagon.
Okay,
Down here's your on-road fuel at the pump,
okay,
two different prices.
okay. So should I have gone down there?
Yep.
Okay. So you want to read it or want me to?
Okay, for diesel fuel at the pump at Country Mart Station, they have a firm bid of 2.417 per gallon.
And the 197 was for, was that the unfirm, or is that?
Well, the 197 is delivered, the unfirm bid
Gotcha.
for our street department delivery. Yes.
So that,
You're talking, one of these combinations are delivered at the Prue Street Department. The other one is at the pump at Country Mark on 24.
okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah.
And both of those are the diesel prices?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a long day.
Is that one on-road and off-road, or are they different?
It would be the same as this one up here. Yeah. One's for one.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're here.
So we have off-road gasoline, the the 87 E10 Plus, and then the diesel. Is the diesel,
That's on-road.
is it,
That's
is it
on-road.
taxed?
On-road at the pump, yes.
On-road, okay.
On-road. Is there an off-road diesel quote, or do we use off-road diesel?
Should all of our equipment. All of our equipment would be off-road,
I brought
backhoes,
everything on here.
Oh, yeah, backhoes in the,
bobcat, any
Yeah.
any kind of loader.
gotcha.
Fuel to be dispensed from Logan Sport Road, 237.
Just for the off-road?
Yes, well, this would be at the pump, 237. The off-road fuel was 2.417.
Doesn't say that anywhere.
Yeah, right here. Dispensed, location, Logansport Road.
Yeah, but where down
Net
here?
bid price, 237,
But where down here does it say that it's to be delivered?
right here. Location specified by foreman and tankway.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
I gotta figure this out in case you're ever not here when I gotta do
Yeah.
this, okay?
So we have a off-road gasoline, on-road gasoline, off-road diesel, and on-road diesel.
Right.
Okay. And that was the difference between that first gas price and that second gas
Yep.
price is the on-road versus off-road.
And the last diesel price for the off-road diesel, is that also delivered? Or
Yes.
is that,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Where are you looking at the bottom? Do you have a copy of these yet?
No.
Okay, okay. When you look
No, I
at
don't
them,
have it from
your
scratch.
delivered price, it'll be specified by foreman in tank wagon quantities.
Gotcha.
That's gonna be delivered to the street department.
How about I give you guys, there's a
Yeah.
copy, I'll
That'd be
share
great.
bills.
Thank you.
And then your on-road, fuel to be dispensed at North Central facility
Okay.
on US 24.
You're on the third page right now is where he's looking.
Just making sure I'm understanding all of it. I'll take that.
This is the on-road fuel. Greater than 91 octane.
And this is the P78
That's the
plus.
unleaded.
So I guess is the only decision really to be made here then, the fix versus the,
Accept the bid for the firm price for
Okay.
gasoline and diesel from Farm Co-op.
gotcha.
Yes,
And your recommendation was what?
firm price.
You said you've had real good success with
Oh,
that?
yeah,
It's easier to budget.
yeah. You don't have to deal with the fluctuation of fuel prices. No matter where it goes, we're paying the same all year.
Motor oil too.
We haven't gotten that far yet to the motor
No.
oil.
Oh, well, we're not doing
We're
motor
not-
oil yet?
Well,
Okay.
we just haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yep. Okay, so it's just these.
See, they're pretty much bidding the escalator.
Is there,
Increase, decrease.
Are they, do you have more of these that you're gonna go through?
Yeah, we've got oil on, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we just need to make a decision right now on the fuel bid.
yeah.
Well,
and-
actually, you can
Do the whole
accept the
thing?
bid on the whole thing. It's all from Farm Co-op.
Okay.
And we don't have a opposing bid,
Okay, yeah,
so.
we can just go ahead then, keep on moving along and do it in one.
Yeah.
And so it looks like next we got the motor oil for $8.21
Per gallon.
per gallon. Oh. And that's for 15 W40. And you have a list here of,
These are just equates.
Different types of grease, yes.
gotcha.
Okay.
The other page is just for the grease, synthetic gear lube.
And this is just a firm, there's not a,
No, they pretty much bid that on like an escalator clause on your asphalt. If you look down at your little paragraph, it's subject to increase or decrease according to the amount the fuel cost or oil cost is.
Gotcha.
We've never had an increase in bid price.
Okay, gotcha. And we have
And that's it? After the oil?
signed documents, the bid bond, the insurance. Then some other specifications. Looks like it's just and documentation on their product, really. And their company information, and insurance. So. Is there any questions from the board?
I have lots of questions.
We'll get to that.
Is there any questions from the public? So a motion to accept the firm price for North Central Co-op's
Fuel.
fuels,
Fuel and oil.
fuel and oil would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. And do we have any other bids?
That's all the bids.
That's all the
I have
bids,
that copy
okay.
back,
Yes,
please.
ma'am.
You'll have these. You have to put more.
All right. So, moving on, we have Lance Berryman from First Baptist Church. Is Lance here? Lance. You have a request, is it for permission to put out some temporary handicap parking signs in front of the church?
Yes. Cones, we're not looking at doing anything with the sidewalk, and we're just doing this
These are
for
two. You'll need,
Sunday
you'll
services
need one of them.
and an occasional funeral there.
Mhm.
On the west entrance of the church,
We'll
there's
get them all, don't I?
an elevator right inside, so we can take the handicap
Okay.
right in there and use the elevator. There are no elevators
No,
anywhere
you
else
kept
in
it
the
on.
church.
So,
That's what we're
Okay.
requesting.
yeah,
Gotcha.
copies of those.
Chief, you have any
Yeah, if you-
thoughts on?
that's what I say.
Okay, just throw them
First
in there.
Baptist Church,
Report it to you on it, then we'll get copies. Yeah.
It's,
And it's just on that Walnut Street side, you're saying, right?
yeah, between the alley where Church and Christ is from there, 4 spaces just on the east side there of Walnut Street.
Traffic is extremely light during that time. I can't see there ever being an issue, especially on Sundays. I know a lot of times during funerals, the funeral will even direct people park sometimes on the wrong side of the street. So I think it'd be a great idea for them to go to have that. I don't see any issues at all.
Okay.
Would the city be responsible for that signage, or would the church do that?
Church is going to take care of that, and there would, again, we wanted to make it temporary so there would be no disturbing of the concrete of the sidewalk or anything else. These would be temporary cones.
That's good, because we don't want to disturb the bituminous material.
Bituminous?
Bi-
Yeah, the bituminous material.
Bituminous, yeah.
Bituminous, yeah.
Opposed to
Material.
anthracite, yes.
All right, I'll get it by
We have a teacher in the house,
2017.
thank God.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Word of the day.
Bonus points if we can spell it right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Is there any other questions from the board? I guess I don't have any questions.
Temporary. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any questions from the public? Any comment? Okay. I'd take a motion to accept the approval request on behalf of the First Baptist Church for permission to put out temporary handicap parking cones.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Next, we have, I did talk to Donna Hines earlier today, and we kind of redirected on that ordinance request for protecting animals, so we'll move on from that from the agenda. And then after that, we have the...
So are we striking that from the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to, we need to do I guess we could do a motion to strike it from the agenda. I don't know if it's,
And that's just going to be redirected to the appropriate
yeah. board?
Board?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
city
yeah.
council.
Let's make that official.
Okay. I have a motion to strike Donna Hines' item from the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the contract for the city FOP, for the city and the FOP. And Matt Feller, I think, is going to talk to us about this. If you would like to go ahead and come forward. I think the mic's on, actually. I think. Yep, okay. You can kind of give us a kind of a rundown on what we're doing.
Well, for those of you who are in attendance who don't know me, or any of the board members, I think I know all of you. My name's Matt Feller. I work for the Peru Police Department, and I'm here tonight as a representative of the local Fraternal Order Police Lodge. I am on the Wage Negotiation Committee, which is nominated by our officers who are members of the FOP. Joining me on the Wage Negotiation crew are Sergeant Rod Richard from Peru PD and Sergeant Mike Vinipal from Peru PD. We have worked very hard with the mayor over the course of probably the last 6 months to get this, and so we express our gratitude to the mayor for being open-minded and working with us. I think everything that we've put together, the mayor is happy with, we are happy with, Chief Meeks is happy with, so I think we've, for the first time in a very long time, put together something that I think everybody is agreeable to. The first thing that we did during wage negotiations was to actually have a contract. And so if this is approved by the Board of Works tonight, this is actually something that is historic for us. We have talked about this for years and years and years, and it will be the first time ever that Peru PD will have a contract with the city of Peru. For the people who are members of the public, we don't want this to be construed as though this has something to do with binding arbitration, because it does not. This is basically just documenting exactly what we've agreed to between the city and the FOP for our officers. It is illegal for us to strike or anything like that. It is just the written ground rules for how things are going to work in 2017. So this is a one-year contract. We'll go back to the drawing board again in 2017 to work on where we go in 2018. We've had discussions in front of the city council, so this is kind of the last step. We took this contract that we've agreed to our lodge, to the body of our lodge back in the end of November, and our lodge unanimously voted to ratify this contract with the city. So again, it is a one-year contract. Some of the things that I guess I can highlight if that's what you want me to do, sure, Mr. Mayor. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of it. I know that later on the agenda tonight, the city is going to, in all likelihood, establish all the holidays for 2017. As part of this contract, any holidays that the city will get, the police officers will get as well. There are some minor changes in how vacation time is basically granted to our officers. Last year, I believe, is when the city handbook came out, and there were some changes in there, and quite frankly, the changes are contradictory to what is in our standard operating procedure as to how many days, vacation days you earn, depending on your years of service, and when you would accrue those. This is going to basically clarify that. So for our officers, well, we have a probationary officer who is in his first year. They get 0 vacation days. Beginning in year 2, you will accrue 10 vacation days. And so for 2 through 4 years of service, you'll get 10 vacation days. On your beginning your 5th year through 9 years of service, you'll get 15 vacation days. 10 through 14 years of service will get 20 vacation days. And anyone who has 15 years of service or more will accrue 25 vacation days. They will also begin to accrue by this contract and by agreement with the city that on the first day of the calendar year, or January 1st, if it is your anniversary year. In other words, if you are an officer who is going to have, at some point in time in his during the course of 2017, hit 5 years of service on January 1st, that officer would have the additional 5 days to use then. However, the agreement would be that if they were to leave the city and have used those extra vacation days before they reach their anniversary date, then that officer would owe that time or money back to the city. We currently, I guess the next item on the list has to do with short-term disability. Again, prior to, I think it was last year or the year before, the city had a pretty good policy in place that protected its employees for short-term disability. For the police and fire, we have long-term disability through PERF. But the city basically purchased a short-term disability policy. We've had some issues with that with some of our officers who had to be off as a result of, at times, there were some injuries on duty. And so we had some guys who were getting paid 66 2/3% of their wage and had to fight and fight and fight on a weekly basis to try to get that money. Guy that I'm thinking of in particular has, I believe, 5 children at home. It was around Christmas time. We had to take up a collection for him through our lodge so that he could provide his children with Christmas. So I know that in talking to the clerk treasurer's office as we were doing negotiations, that policy has extended through June 1st, or until the end of May, correct?
End of May.
End of May of 2017. So beginning June 1st of 2017, the Peru Police Department, City of Peru, will provide short-term disability through a self-funded program. Essentially, you will have 50 weeks of short-term disability. It used to be labeled as extended illness. Essentially, the money for our salaries is already budgeted. While there is not anybody who is physically there working, if you are injured or sick and cannot come to work over that period of time, the money is still there. It comes at a cost savings to the city, I would think, because you're no longer paying a premium for that short-term disability policy and you're simply spending the money that is already budgeted. Helps us out because when our guys are off on short-term disability now, there are no deductions being taken out to include our retirement. No federal taxes, state taxes, income taxes essentially being taken out. So it's going to come, eventually you're going to have to pay that. We feel like this is a policy that's going to help our employees overall protect us a lot more so that if there is something that happens to one of us when we're working or even not working, that we don't have to worry about whether we're going to be able to put food on our tables and clothes on our kids' backs. Another change as a part of this contract that is, again, contradictory from the city employee handbook and our SOPs is that currently under the employee handbook, you don't get any overtime paid at time and a half until you reach 80 hours. As a part of this contract, if you work more than 40 hours in a week, you are eligible for compensation at time and a half rather than having to go the full 80 hours before you're eligible. And that would be on a weekly basis. So it could be that I work a full week this week, but I have to work 20 hours extra on top of my regular 40 hours. But next week I happen to take a day off, then it obviously would short me. The next item on there would be for if officers happen to get called in for an emergency. We oftentimes are not working and get subpoenaed to go to court. We get subpoenaed to go to depositions, a variety of things of that nature. If I get called in, unfortunately, the number of times that there are scheduling conflicts, when you get subpoenaed and you go to court or you go to a deposition and you walk in the door and they say, we're sorry, this is not going to happen today, it's been canceled. We have officers who drive from Kokomo to come up here, have to provide child care to go to those and then turn around and have to leave. So as part of this agreement, if you are called in, you are guaranteed a mandatory or a minimum of 2 hours of overtime or 2 hours of time toward that 40 hours if you're called in. Now that does not count for voluntary meetings, voluntary training. It doesn't guarantee me 2 hours if I'm on station I get an arrest or something, or I'm doing paperwork as a result of a call for service that happened 15 minutes before I get off duty and I end up being there for an extra hour. That doesn't mean I get 2 hours. It's only when you're in an off-duty capacity and you happen to get called in or get subpoenaed to court that you would be eligible for that 2 hours worked. Anything that's voluntary is at a 1-to-1 ratio if it's above and beyond the 40 hours per week, and oftentimes is going to be at the discretion of the chief of police. And finally, the last change is going to be something completely new that the chief of police and one of our other detectives kind of brought to our committee. I don't know that we have a name for it yet at this point, but we're open to suggestions. Once a year, all of our officers will have the opportunity to voluntarily participate in an annual standard fitness test. The chief of police will determine what the course will be. All likelihood, as I understand it from him, likely be the exit standards, or what the guys who are graduating from the academy right now, whatever they have to complete, we would have to complete. Your reward for that is that if you pass that, then you would earn an additional day off to be able to take that off somewhere down the line. Our hope is that that will encourage our officers to be active, to be healthy, and hopefully to try to drive down any costs incurred by our insurance companies. I think the benefits are clearly there, and it's not something that's mandatory, so if guys don't want to participate in it, they don't have to, but there is some type of reward for you if you participate, pass it. So we're very pleased with that.
I mentioned too that when we were discussing this part in my office, we got into a discussion about how many push-ups would be appropriate, which resulted in me doing push-ups in the middle of the of the negotiations.
Unfortunately, there were AEDs on hand. So we're very pleased with this. If you read on in the language, a lot of it's attorney, a lot of legal terminology from our attorney, but this is in no way, shape, or form a contract that is intended to take anything away from the city or from the chief of police and his authority. In fact, it says in the last paragraph that we will provide professional police service at the direction of the chief of police of the city of Peru, and the chief of police shall maintain the ability to manage the police department and all traditional management rights. So again, this is not anything that provides any type of binding arbitration. This is just simply a contract between the city saying these are the ground rules for 2017. If the board chooses to ratify this tonight, we will owe you a debt of our gratitude.
Thank you, Matt.
What was the response from city council? You said you went there first?
We didn't talk specifically about we talked about some of the items with the city council, specifically having to do with the holidays. There was discussion prior to the passing of the ordinance for 2017 establishing, I think,
The
wages.
Mm-hmm.
And in the wage ordinance, there's also talks a little bit about paid holidays. And there were some questions about that. We have consulted with our attorney, and I believe the city has consulted with Mr. Roberts. Both attorneys have reviewed the ordinance. Both attorneys have reviewed the contract and feel like our contract is in line with the ordinance.
Perfect.
Yeah, so, and that's an important thing to bring up, is that the budget for next year reflects all of these. So it's paid for in the budget next year, the contract now.
Okay, that was my concern, see if they had any issues with any type of, like when you were talking overtime on the 40 as opposed to the 80,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's going to be something, whether people are using it more often because of that.
I don't think that it will really change a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Okay, I guess that was my question,
Quite frankly,
whether how much is going to be used.
Right, quite frankly, the majority, I think Assistant Chief Hoover, who takes care of tracking all of our time, I think would probably concur with me that the majority of the members of our department ordinarily don't claim overtime for money. They normally take comp time or compensation time, which is paid out at time and a half. Is there a cost to the city? Yes. However, it's not a budgetary cost to the city for most of the overtime.
Okay. Yeah, when it comes to like you guys getting called out for like court case stuff, I mean, you have to be compensated for that. You know, you're.
Yeah, yeah, and there was some stories about cases where
Yes.
an officer would have to, find childcare and do everything else to get ready to go to court, show up to court, and as soon as he shows up, it's dismissed, and basically for all the time getting ready to go to work and making the arrangements so he can go in on an off day, and then basically not getting paid for it because it got dismissed once he got there, so.
So the changes that you guys are wanting, will we have a new handbook? Will all this, like, the handbook be rewritten?
Well, if you look in item number 8, which is on page 3 of 3, the language in the contract specifically says, in the event of a conflict between this agreement and the City of Peru's employee handbook, the language and stipulations of the agreement shall prevail, and the agreement shall supersede the handbook.
Okay.
So if we have any conflicts there, this will supersede that handbook.
May I say something about that? I am in the process of taking bids from different companies, legal people, to rewrite our handbook. Our handbook desperately needs to be redone. And so if you guys were to pass this today, it would actually be really good timing, I mean, just as far as the handbook goes, because then we would know what to expect whenever we rewrite the handbook, and we can say something in there to the effect of everything that has to do with the police officers see their contract or things like that. So it would be good timing,
Yeah.
and we do plan on redoing the handbooks.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would imagine that most of the items in the contract here, we probably want to leave out of the employee handbook because
Right.
this is a yearly contract, and
Exactly.
employee handbook is probably going to need to be
So if
a little bit more.
if we redo the employee handbook, it would basically say, see contract,
Yeah.
so.
Sounds good.
I do have a question about the extra vacation day for the fitness test.
Okay.
Is that vacation day a use it or lose it in that year? Does it carry over?
We didn't talk about that, but typically, most of those, the only thing that really carries over is comp time and vacation days right now, so I would say yes, it's going to be a use it or lose it.
The verbiage does say the additional day off to be taken within the calendar
Yes.
year in which the test is administered.
Oh, okay, good.
Correct.
Okay.
So it would be something that I would I don't know when the chief plans to schedule this, if this should pass, but I would imagine it would be probably when it's a little warmer. But I would think that we would have plenty of time that our officers who were to complete it successfully would be able to have time to get that taken care of, but
I
yes,
think
it
you
would be a
should
use it or
schedule them
lose
on the
it.
hottest day of the year or the coldest day of the year.
Will the clerk treasurer be joining us? Will the clerk treasurer be joining us?
Say the same thing.
Well, I gotta lose some weight somehow.
I'll just be for the push-up portion. I want to keep it up.
How many did you?
Great incentive, though. I
We
like
think
it.
so.
Yeah, it's
We think so.
Yeah, and I think it's great too to have an incentive like that to keep everybody in shape and it kind of makes something enjoyable out of it too. You get a day off if you complete it. So, see if there's anything else. I guess, like I said before, we have approved the budget for next year, which reflects the items in the contract. So this is mostly kind of administrative outlines, basically, for the chief and his administration, to guidelines that clarifies when officers come in and they want a day off, or they want to know when their vacation is. Either they got something in black and white that clearly defines it. From my conversations with officers, that was something that was an issue in the past. They didn't have a black and white document to go back to and say, well, this is what it says here, and then you're getting different interpretations of what the perceived benefits were. So we're just getting more basically of a black and white document that we go back to and we all agree on. Is that
There was some contradictory language. I mean, I know Captain Feller referred to that, when you talk about an 80-hour work week, it says in our employee handbook, but our SOPs talk about a 40-hour work week. So
Mhm.
this cleans all that up, and as he said, that basically supersedes.
To be
those
fair,
other items.
per the Department of Labor, it has to be based on a 40-hour week.
Yeah,
So I don't know why that was in there for 80.
yeah.
So-
It's one of those things where I don't think it should be a 80-hour work week
Right.
for overtime. And like you said, it's already come down with state law or
Federal.
Federal law.
Yeah,
Federal law.
so, yeah. Is there any questions from the board?
Do you have the original copy for them to sign if it is passed?
Sure. This is
Okay.
as original as I believe the copy that they have.
Okay.
So yeah, any of these will work.
Okay.
All right. Any questions or comments from the public? Okay. Seeing none, a motion to accept the contract between the city and the FOP would be in order.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, guys. Great work.
Thank you.
They worked really hard on this for a long time.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
there was-
really well-done contract.
Yeah. So, all right, next we have a resolution, a resolution to establish the paid holidays for full-time employees, sorry, for 2017. I believe this is the same, are these the same holidays as,
Pretty much. The only thing that's different on this one is March 20th. That is a Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
The start of spring break for the kids,
yeah,
Peru kids. So that's the only difference. And that's why that day is not necessarily a federal holiday, but we have that spot, we gave that spot for long weekends, if anybody wanted to be with their kids during spring break.
yeah. So we had basically another day, try to figure out where it was going, and we tried to make that part of the spring break that's on the calendar, so if we have employees with kids, they can have a little bit more time or have to take less time off if they're doing vacation. So, is there any questions from the board?
No, I think it's great that you give employees their birthday off
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah, that's another one of the holidays, is employee's birthday, so.
Not just the mayor's, but any employee's birthday is a holiday.
Right. Well, and actually, I just got a puppy, and his birthday is a holiday on
Bill's
here.
gonna take my birthday off,
So-
he says.
Monday, October 9th is the puppy's birthday, so you guys get my new dog's birthday off.
Well, thanks, dog.
Yeah. So, is there any other questions or comments from the board? From the
I
public?
did just send out a list of the meetings for next year.
Mhm.
I'm just really hoping that we don't have a late Board of Works meeting on this Friday, the 22nd, the last day before Christmas break, because a long meeting before Christmas break would be really terrible. wouldn't it?
No, it is. I was just marking on my calendars, yeah. Yeah. All right, any other comments? All right, motion to accept Resolution 14, 2016 would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so there's the holidays. Next, we have Resolution 15, 2016. It is a resolution to encumber monies from various funds in the 2016 budget. We have here the remainder of the unsafe building fund, which is $5,373, being encumbered by the building commissioner, encumbering those monies to have for the tearing down of buildings. That's pretty much what's left in that budget for tearing down buildings from this year. We're going to encumber for next year. And we also have $14,000 from the CCD for landscaping around the amphitheater. We still have some landscaping requirements for the grant that we have, and so excuse me, we got some bids on some different things to do around there. So we're going to encumber that money so we can do that for next year. And is there anything else that we're encumbering? Okay.
That's it. The purpose of encumbering is basically whenever you are expecting to get work done really soon in the beginning of the next year. If we don't take the money out of these budgets, it would go back into the general fund, and we would have to ask for additional appropriations, which takes 2 months to go through the council.
Yeah.
So by encumbering it, we have the invoices, the work has already been ordered. We just want to make sure that the money is there whenever the work is done.
Yeah,
So-
so the money's either way, which just, this saves us a step of going back to the council and get it back appropriated again. To go
Right.
back to these, they've already been appropriated for these purposes, and we're just tagging it and saying, hey, don't roll that over with everything that's
It's
unspent.
earmarking it, that's
Yeah.
all it is.
So, is there any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. So I take a motion to accept Resolution 15, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. And I believe that's all that's on our agenda. Is there anything else come before the board? All right, seeing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Sounds good.
All right.
We